Well, good morning to everyone out there. It is now 10:42 in the morning. You're looking at the forecast track starting up on Friday here. We're still dealing with summer sizzle to the outlook, but I wanted to warn you guys about this first. We've got some shower and storm activity along the way, and we're going to get involved with that starting off really just right off the bat. Let's go into it right now and kind of sort of track this hour by hour for you. See if we can get that motion coming in to this graphic. Let's see, there we go. There's some motion there. Moving forward into Saturday, it looks like we've got ourselves some of that wet weather finally starting to come in. This could be as early as about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning right now at our forecast model runs. Now, granted, this is just one of our models. This is what we call the Euro model. Technically, it does come from Europe. But it actually does a really good job forecasting more of the mesoscale weather that we deal with. That's going to be your wear and tear thunderstorm activity. Does a really good job with that for us here within the Missouri River Valley. And as you can see, the timing of this is looking about mid-morning to get some aggressive storm activity in. Then we, of course, move forward into Sunday. And then Sunday yields a good shot for some showers and storms, more likely around I-70 in the metro and our southern counties. So looks like even through these next couple of days here through the weekend, everybody gets a little bit of something with the wet weather. That's the good news here. We need this wet weather, but it also drops our temperatures dramatically. I want to talk about that. Moving into the next game that we have over at the K, which is technically next Monday, and this is going to be at 7:10 at night. But get this, as we move forward in time, the temperature for 7:10, 81 whopping degrees. By the end of the game, we're looking at 77. Very exciting stuff there to finally see a cool down to the forecast. So good morning to you all. I wanted to start you off with that to say, hey, we've got this light at the end of the tunnel, but it does come with a little bit of inclement weather, right? We're going to be talking about those showers and storms, and it comes from a front that's off to the north, kind of sort of meandering around Iowa and then stretching over to Nebraska, even portions of the Dakotas out there. And we're going to get involved with that in a few. But nonetheless, I want to get back at it again and actually show you that we are still going to be dealing with that extreme heat for today. I want to remind you one more time that we are still under that excessive heat warning, and that is going to be up until Friday, 9 p.m. All right. And today's forecast, when it comes down to it for feel-like temperatures, well, we did have an update throughout the morning, and it was kind of unfortunate. We were starting off with about 107 to maybe 110 degrees, and now not so much. We could actually push this a little bit further to about 112 degrees in certain areas. And this is going to be towards the end of the day now. Oh, look at that. It looks like we even got a newer update here. Could be more like 107 now. So, all right. There it is, 7 p.m. Never mind. Tricked you. I was hoping for a new update here, but no, it was around 7 p.m. that we were looking at that opportunity for getting up to about 110 plus degrees, and that's what we still have going on. So let's go ahead and move this over to Friday's forecast because we still have it for that too. Moving quickly through the afternoon. And yep, yet again, about 104. Do we want to get up to 104 degrees? Yeah, there it is, 104 degrees around that early evening time frame just before the sun sets. We got that really rough heat of the day. So still stifling heat. This is dangerous heat. This is something that we still have to, heed very much so caution over as we move forward in time. One more chance to show you what we're dealing with that wet weather threat. Just to give you an idea of where we're at right now, there is a marginal risk for severe storm activity to come on in. It says Friday. Don't get me wrong, it technically is Friday. Our Severe Weather Prediction Center is kind of sort of indicating it to be on day 2 of our, 1 through 8 kind of day scale. And technically day 2 is tomorrow. Day 1 is today. Day 2 is Friday. But really the timing of this is like 11:45 at night. And then it truly starts to taper into our Saturday early morning forecast. And we showed you that with one of our actual forecasting models for that wet weather threat, right? So it's a marginal risk. It's on the lowest scale. Right now, it'll be those wear and tear, stronger storm cells, maybe some gusty winds, maybe a little bit of hail. I'm not anticipating any kind of a rotation here. I'm not anticipating any kind of golf ball or tennis ball size hail. It may be more sizes of quarters or peas or marbles if we do see that development. And again, it's really more concentrated to our northern counties at this time in our forecast models. But nonetheless, I want you to be wary of it. We're still a little too far out to really forecast for Sunday. That's technically day 4. And I know we've talked about this over several inclement weather scenarios, weeks ago, where sometimes our models are so confident that they'll actually show a severe weather prediction 5, 6, 7, 8 days out. Well, this time around, they're not showing that kind of confidence right now. So we're going to have to wait till we get to the wheelhouse of day 1 through 3. Which is in the next 12 to 24 hours. So we'll have that information for you probably either late tonight, maybe around the 10 p.m. time frame for that newscast for talking about Sunday's forecast, or we're going to have it first thing tomorrow morning for you. But we'll definitely have your back on that. I wanted to show you kind of sort of the synoptics of what's going on with our weather when we move through the next couple of days here, obviously getting into this inclement weather scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on the surface map that we've provided for you to show you what's going on. So we've got high pressure still out there. This is technically showing you surface and mid-level weather, okay? So we've got that high pressure system, and that's more closer to the surface and the mid-levels. The upper level ridge of high pressure and the one that's creating this heat dome, that's actually going to move to the south and west. All right, so we call that retrograding when we go against the flow of the atmosphere. And our flow tends to go from west to east, and we're going to retrograde. So what happens is we'll go from the east to the west with the upper levels of the atmosphere. Down at the surface, you see that high pressure system. That is actually going to start to move more towards the south and more towards the east, and it's going to go with the flow of things. But to the north, do you see that front, that blue line, that low pressure system there? That is our next storm system. And the funny thing is, I'm going to go into my water vapor imagery. Let's see if it'll allow me to do that. Yeah, I love this map. This really paints the picture for you. So there's that upper level high that we were kind of sort of talking about, that upper level ridge. And do you see that kind of swirling pattern down there around Arizona in the Four Corners? That's what's left of Tropical Storm Harold, right? So there's tropical moisture here that's developing right through, yet again, the desert southwest, but it's going to wrap around that big ridge as it continues to traverse back to the southwest. As it wraps around that high pressure system, it's going to move all the way up to the north here, friends, and it's going to get more wet in this area of the country. All right, around Omaha, around areas of Iowa, getting into the Dakotas. Now, let's go back to that surface map, because what is up around Iowa and the Dakotas and around Nebraska? Well, it's that front. So there's our fuel source for that weather pattern. And that particular weather pattern is going to push south as we move throughout the next few days here, all right? So that's the reason why we're getting into this wet weather and the thunderstorm activity for our Saturday, truly our Saturday early morning, and then moving into our Sunday mid-morning to early afternoon. And of course, again, we do have a marginal risk for severe weather. I want you to be wary about that. So far, the timing is going to be that early morning time frame for Saturday morning, and we're concentrating the most aggressive wet weather, at least at this time, to our northern counties, closer to the Iowa border. I'm going to say like Andrew and Buchanan counties, maybe St. Joe, up towards Nodway County, where we're right there at the border, and of course going over towards Bethany, Worth, Gentry counties, Mercer, Grundy counties, that kind of area of the viewing region, right? So that's Saturday's forecast. And then Sunday, we're going to see a portion of the tail end of that cold front there. It's going to come down more towards our area, right? The metro, I-70, and concentrate some of that stronger storm activity just south of the metro. Now, remember, some of this is going to change for us. We're going to see new data that comes in as we move forward in time, and that's going to give us that opportunity to maybe alter that severe weather, or maybe give you a better timing of that severe weather, or where we're going to see more aggressive weather in different locations of our viewing area. So you're just going to have to bear with us here. We just want to show you full transparency saying that. Once we get that new data, when we know, we're going to let you know. All right. But you can anticipate probably needing those umbrellas and taking it easy on those outdoor plans for the weekend at certain time frames. But overall, now I get to show you the good stuff. I'm going straight to the Security Bank 10-day forecast because this is what I am really, really stoked about. The temperature, the swing is dramatic. We're going to go from about a high temperature of 98 degrees today with a feel-like temperature of around 112. And by the time we hit Saturday, we're going to drop down to 84 degrees in an air temperature. So we're talking nearly a 15-degree drop, nearly a 15-degree drop in temperature. And then furthermore into Sunday. But look at those morning low temperatures. 67 Sunday morning, 64 on Monday morning. Oh, I'm not done. I'm not done. We've got some of our models indicating even chillier than that. I'm going to go Tuesday morning, 62, and then there it is. Oh, the coup de grace of it all. Our Wednesday morning, 59 whopping degrees. Coming off of what we've been dealing with, I mean, who knows? Maybe you do feel like it's pumpkin spice weather. Maybe this is time for you to take out the sweaters. I'm joking, of course, but it's going to feel much more comfortable for us, and I'm very happy to have that happen to the forecast. I know you guys have been worried about this heat. I've been worried about it myself. We've been dealing with a lot of power outages, a lot of ACs going out. It's been rough. I'm just so happy to say that we're going to be finally getting away from this nonsensical heat and getting into something actually below average for us. The average high temperature for the end of August, transitioning into September, is about 86 degrees. And we're talking lower 80s. We'll finally go back to seasonal where you can't see it right now, Friday and Saturday of next week there, because obviously my little box is in the way for you. But it is going to be into the upper 80s. About 87 degrees is what we're expecting on both of those days, with middle to upper 60s for early morning lows. But it's going to allow you to open up those windows, shut the AC down overnight, and let Mama Nature cool off your house and hopefully save your electric bill for the month. Because I'm sure you've been running that AC just like me, just to try to stay reasonably comfortable indoors. I know I've got my AC unit set to about 78 to 80 degrees during the day, and then we drop it to about 76 degrees just to bearably sleep at night, because we don't want that $600-700 electric bill that everyone dreads, especially during this time of year. So hopefully we can continue on with this trek, even though we bump up on there next Friday, Saturday. At least it's still going to be on the seasonal side for us. All right, friends, that is your forecast. I think I am going to butt myself out of this and just show you that 10-day. Very excited to show you that. And there's your Friday and Saturday coming in at 87 degrees on both sides. I think there's no real pleasant way to transition into news stories here. I don't know how to get political with this. I really don't, Janae, but that's all right. Janae's got more when it comes down to the politics. And obviously, we've got the races really heating up. We just had a debate that just happened here a day or two ago. And, you know, a lot of this revolves around a bit of Trump. Yeah. And we've got some new information from Trump. I think, is he heading off to Atlanta, Janae? Is that right?
He is. And Greg, you don't have to worry about taking it away. I will take it away for you. And actually, let's take a live look in Georgia right now. This is in Fulton County, where, as Greg mentioned, former President Donald Trump is expected to turn himself in later on today. And of course, KCTV5 will be right there to provide the latest updates. Again, we are looking at a live shot coming in from Fulton County, Georgia, where former President Donald Trump is expected to surrender later on today. Now, as we take a look at this live shot, there are new updates that are coming in minute by minute. I do want to provide you all with the latest just minutes ago. We did learn that security is on high alert for Fulton County DA Fani Willis in her office. And this is coming from CNN. They say multiple law enforcement officers have been posted outside offices used by prosecutors for District Attorney Fani Willis to negotiate bond agreements for the defendants, including former President Donald Trump, an increased level of security than previously seen. Now, this report goes on to say that Willis has been assigned additional security protection near her Georgia residence in recent weeks amid threats to her and her office. Barriers, including bike racks, were placed outside of the courthouse and government complex in recent recent weeks and are expected to remain in place until Saturday, after the deadline Willis gave to the defendants to turn themselves in, which is supposed to be tomorrow at noon. Now, we also learned that Atlanta's FBI office said last week that the FBI is aware some Fulton County officials have received threats of violence. Again, that is the latest update coming in via CNN just minutes ago, and we will continue to provide you all with the latest information. But there are major developments so far this morning. I do want to take a look at this video that you now see here on your screen. We do know that former President Donald Trump is shaking up his legal team ahead of his surrender in Fulton County later on today. Now, the lead attorney, Drew Findling, was replaced earlier today. The person he was replaced by is an Atlanta-based attorney described as a special counsel for white-collar and high-profile defense. In a statement, he said Trump is innocent, adding that he looks forward to the case being dismissed or Trump being found not guilty. Again, that is one of the latest developments coming in here to our newsroom here at KCTV5. But I do want to take a look at this video that we also received here at the live desk earlier today. Let's see if we can pull that video up here. Alrighty, well, it doesn't look like we have that video, but today Trump is set to travel to Atlanta to surrender on those charges in the Georgia election subversion case. He is facing 13 counts, including racketeering, conspiracy charges, and soliciting a public official to violate their oath of office. I'm going to turn the camera around so you all can see me. I am Janae Hancock here at the live desk, here to provide you the latest updates on this historic day, the fourth indictment for former President Donald Trump this year in 2023. And we actually heard from the former president last night as he had a sit-down interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson at the same time that the GOP presidential debate started last night. Let's take a listen in. Time that the GOP presidential debate started last night. Let's take a listen in. Time that the GOP presidential debate started last night. Let's take a listen in. Time that the GOP presidential debate started last night. Let's take a listen in. This is also another update that we have received today. The same day that Trump is set to surrender in Atlanta, we just learned that a House committee is expected to launch an inquiry into Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. She will be asked whether she was coordinating her investigation with the Justice Department, and lawmakers also want to know if she used federal dollars to complete her investigation. So a lot of new developments coming in today, and as that new information comes in today, I do want to take a look at this video that we received here at the live desk earlier. Trump supporters are slowly starting to show up in Fulton County as the former president prepares to make his way to Georgia later on today. Now, of course, we will dive further into this story later on this morning, and hopefully we will hear from a law professor at UMKC who will be able to further break this story down for us, what we can expect and what this means for Trump as he looks ahead to the 2024 presidential race, running again. And as far as if he will possibly be at the next debate for the GOP Republican Party. We know that he was absent last night, but like I mentioned, he did have that sit-down interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. Now, right now, I do want to switch gears, taking a look at another story that we have been following here at KCTV5, and we will continue to follow that, and that is going to be the heat. Now, some bus drivers in Shawnee Mission School District are struggling to beat this heat, and 10 drivers actually say that they got sick this week, and that forced some routes to actually be canceled. So not the best news for students as well as for parents. So I do want to take a look at this story that KCTV5's Grace Smith covered yesterday on bus drivers trying to beat the heat. Smith covered yesterday on
unbearable temperatures,
You get on the bus and it's just like walking into an oven.
putting a serious strain on bus drivers.
It was scary. I've never felt like that before.
Sarah Stone has been driving buses for the Shawnee Mission School District for 7 years. She says nothing prepared her for driving in this kind of heat.
And how hot did it get on your bus yesterday?
124 degrees at 1 o'clock.
Stone says there are fans, but they only blow out hot air.
And I started to feel sick. I wasn't sweating anymore. I felt like I was about to pass out.
Because of this experience, Stone says she's one of 4 drivers who are taking the rest of the week off.
If they don't feel good, don't come to work. And so we're continuing to watch them.
DJ Garcia, the division manager at DS Bus Line, says 5 routes have been canceled.
Send out alerts to the district and to parents, letting them know that those buses were not running.
Garcia says they've made some changes for the remainder of this week to help keep their drivers cool.
They're going to come in after the first run, after their high school run, and maybe come into the elementary and take a 10 to 15 minute break and give them some water, give them a towel, help them cool off.
But Stone believes moving forward, permanent changes need to be made.
The district do something so we can have air-conditioned buses. We only have 16% of our lot has air, and the majority is the sped buses or wheelchair buses. The big buses don't have air at all.
Again, that report is coming in from KCTV5's Grace Smith, and the heat is not only impacting bus drivers, but it is also impacting sports here in the metro. The heat means that's going to be a longer wait for the start of a new high school football season, and a lot of other sports have been impacted. That just means an extra hour to be exact. At least 3 Friday night lights kickoffs will be held at 8 instead of 7 p.m., and it's possible that more games are added to this list later on today.
We're not just looking at the athletes, we're looking at fans, we're looking at families, whether it be elder family members or the younger elementary students that are going to celebrate their night on Friday night as well. We really want it to be a great kickoff to the season for everyone involved.
And of course, we will continue to keep you all posted on the latest developments regarding this story. So be sure to keep it tuned in here with KCTV5. Right now, I do want to switch gears once again and focus on a positive and also kind of exciting story. I know I am very excited about it. Let's take a look at this story right here. It is the talk of the town, the talk of the nation right now. Pumpkin spice is back, and it may be the hottest day of the year in many parts of America right now. But if you ask Starbucks, fall is already here. The famous pumpkin spice latte officially returned today. 2 other seasonal beverages are also joining the fall menu: an iced apple crisp, oat milk shaken espresso, and an iced pumpkin cream chai tea latte. A baked apple croissant will also be available for the very first time, and some returning favorites, including the pumpkin cream cold brew and the pumpkin cream cheese muffin. Sounds amazing. So now that we are all hungry, I am going to sign off here at the live desk. It is Janae Hancock, but I do want to let you all know that coming up at 12:30, we will dive further into this story regarding former President Donald Trump, as he is expected to surrender in Fulton County, Georgia later on today. Again, taking a live look just outside of that jail in Georgia right now. I did mention that a lot of supporters are already starting to gather outside of that jail in support of former President Donald Trump. But we're also seeing people who are in favor of former President Donald Trump turning himself in today, as well as so many other co-defendants. So I will be right back here at 12:30 to provide you all with the latest new developments.